Hello there people, this is Bruce Cool or Nintendo, and today on Yu-Gi-Oh! 5D's Decade Duels we are up against Yuko. Now she's got a unique deck known as a Froggy deck. Strangely enough, contains frogs. Now let's go through some of these interesting effects as well as a few of the other cards she's got in her deck, and we'll come up with a strategy. So there are 4 types of frog she has. And they are Dupe Frog, Flip Flop Frog, Substitute and Unifrog. Now, some of these have quite high defense, some of these have effects when you hit them. It's very nasty, so let's go through them one at a time. Dupe Frog, 2000 defense, and when it's face up on the field, you can only attack that card. And the other horrible thing is when it's sent to the graveyard, she can pull out another frog from either the graveyard or from the deck, as long as it's not another dupe frog, so you don't have to deal with irritating defense monsters. And the other one with high defense is Substitute, where basically once that's face up, any of her frog monsters can't be destroyed by battle, so again quite irritating, and with 2000 defense, really horrible. So for these 2 types of monsters anyway, you'll probably want to consider a deck where you can get rid of face downs or even face up defense monsters pretty easily. So say Red Dragon Archfiend if you sink, or if you're on the warrior deck there's Ninja Grandmaster Sasuke I believe it's called, or even Sasuke Samurai, or even Magical Trap cards where you've got Smashing Ground and whatnot. Make sure they're packed in your deck. The other 2 frogs, there's Unifrog. Quite irritating. It can attack you directly, and if it does that successfully and there's another frog type on the field, as long as it's not Unifrog, then she can destroy a magic or trap card of yours. So make sure you've got something chainable set if you know you can't defend against Unifrog. And the last frog, probably the most irritating in my book, Flip Flop Frog. Now, besides having a difficult to say name, it can send monsters back to your hand. So when it's flipped up, whether it's by battle or by Yuko just flipping it up, the monster goes back to your hand. And on top of that, if there's more frog monsters on her side of the field, then that's more monsters on your side of the field bouncing back up. So if she's got 2 frog monsters, that includes Flip Flop Frog, and that means 2 monsters go to your hand. The plus side of Flip Flop Frog is the defense is very poor, so get rid of it as soon as possible. In fact, here you go, check it out. Crazy. So that's the frogs covered. As you can tell, there's another card attached to it, which is Wetlands. That's the only field spell that she's got, and it basically buffs up the 2-star aqua type monsters, or 1-star aqua type monsters, by 1200 attack. Now that sounds horrible, but the monsters are still quite weak even still. The maximum would be 1700 attack from Flip Flop Frog, and more often than not she's going to set that in defense. So I wouldn't worry too much about that card. If you've got a semi-decent beatdown with 1800 attackers or more, then feel free to just try and run through her frogs. As you can see, she does have some stallers. She's got Messenger of Peace, Fires of Doomsday, Scapegoat, and the usual Swords of Revealing Light. So when battling, you do have to try and just rip through her, back row. Again, things to get rid of cards like Heavy Storm, Giant Trunade. That would help you out here. Other than that, there's not too much to worry about this deck. There's not much to stop you attacking. I've mentioned obviously there's a stalling, but in terms of the back row, that she's got a Mirror Force, and that's it to stop the attacks. The rest are things like Torrential Tribute, Bottomless Trap Hole, and of course Solemn Judgment. Now there aren't that many traps, so I don't think it's fair to say whack Royal Decree in your deck, because that would be a bit pointless. I suppose the moral of this is if you're using a beatdown, just, persevere and you'll rip through her like I'm doing now. Lovely stuff. Other decks, I don't think there is a weak deck, to be honest with you. Feel free to use Exodia, Removal. As long as you get rid of Flip Flop Frog, then that's the thing, that's the key to this. So, any comments or any thoughts, pop them down below and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. And you guys take care of yourselves. I'll see you again soon.